very good morning to all. I, Neeza Singh, librarian and webinar host, on behalf of the TS Central State Library, welcome you all to this webinar on protecting youth from tobacco and nicotine use. Our speaker of the day is Dr. Rakesh Gupta. And this is a very important topic as tobacco or nicotine use among young people has been referred to as both a pediatric disease and a pediatric epidemic. The vast majority of smokers begin using tobacco products well before the age of 18 years. If the pattern continues, a lifetime of tobacco use would result in the deaths of 250 million children and young people alive today, most of them in the developing countries. Statistics reveal that the use of any form of tobacco by 13 to 15-year-old students is greater than 10%. In addition, almost 1 in 4 students, 13 to 15 years old, who ever smoked cigarettes, smoked their first cigarette before the age of 10. In India, there is more use of smokeless than smoking tobacco. We are also dealing with a big menace of hookah and e-cigarette use, though both are illegal products under the existing laws. Tobacco and nicotine affects youth seriously as their education, career, and even married life suffers because of the ill effects. With these words, I would like to introduce the moderator of today's session, Madam Anju Gupta, who is librarian in charge of the TS Central State Library. Next slide, please. Madam Anju Gupta is the senior most librarian in the Chandigarh administration with an experience of 33 years. She has been the librarian in charge of Divisional Library South from February 2011 till October 2014. She has started 2 new libraries and organized a number of outreach programs on social, health, literary, etc. issues and promoting book reading among masses. She is honored by many literary organizations and welfare organizations for the work she has been doing for the communities. Now, before I hand over to our moderator, ma'am, I would like to give you an important instruction that you can write all questions regarding the topic that come to your mind in the comments, and they will be answered at the end by our speaker, Dr. Rakesh Gupta. Also, a link to the feedback will be given towards the end of the webinar for your valuable feedback, as well as for getting certificates. So I hand over now to Madam Anju Gupta.
Slide, please. Okay. A very good morning. I welcome our speaker, doctor, and participants and honored guests. I welcome our speaker, Dr. Rakesh Gupta, and all other participants, many of whom are public health experts. We will dwell on the important topic, preventing youth from tobacco and nicotine use. We will also learn about the new emerging tobacco nicotine products like e-cigarettes. Next slide, please. Now, allow me to introduce our distinguished speaker, Dr. Rakesh Gupta, who is President and Director of Public Health, CIPHER. He was formerly Director, Health Services and Director of Chemical Examiner Lab of Punjab. He was alumni of Johns Hopkins School of Public Health, Baltimore in 2012 and University of California, San Francisco 2012 as a short-term scholar. He was awarded WHO award in 2015 on World No Tobacco Day, represented MOHFW for a consultation in Panama 2016. He represented MOHFW for a consultation in Geneva in 2017, and he was awarded he was given award of exemplary services in medical profession by SBI 2019. Now I invite Dr. Rakesh Gupta to start his speech talk.
Yeah, thank you, Anjuji. So we'll be talking about how we can protect youth from tobacco and nicotine use. And my focus will also be on the new nicotine products like electronic cigarettes and the hookah use, which is almost rampant in this part of the country. So, why tobacco control is important? Tobacco is the only legal consumer product which kills 50% of its consumers. The tobacco or nicotine that affects all the organs, example heart, brain, lungs, etc., because the nicotine that causes vasoconstriction of the blood vessels, and all the organs they require blood supply, and it kills 3,500 per day and 13.5 lakhs each year in our country. And 5,500 kids they start using tobacco in any form daily. Nicotine is the drug in tobacco that causes addiction, and this addiction is even more severe than heroin addiction. And as per 2011 figures, earning from tobacco is just 33,000 crores for the government, and expenditure on tobacco-related illness is more than rupees 1 lakh crore. So you can see it is not profitable for government also to allow open sale of tobacco. So this is the prevalence of tobacco use in Punjab as per Global Adult Tobacco Survey, which was conducted in 15-16, and 25 lakh adult population in Punjab. Because we normally say that uh, there's majority of the Sikh population in Punjab. Still, you can see 25 lakh adult population Punjab is using tobacco in some form or the other. And out of the 3,500 people who die daily in India, 75 to 80 they belong to Punjab. So overall tobacco prevalence is 13.4%, smokers are 7.3%, and smokeless is 8. Smokeless, you already know that it is gutka, khani, mawa, etc. These are smokeless tobaccos. And you can see even in Punjab, smokeless tobacco prevalence is more than what is the smoking tobacco prevalence. The Global Adult Tobacco Survey, as per the survey, 28.6% of all the adults currently they use tobacco, whether it is in smoking form or it is smokeless form, and just 10.7% of the adults they currently use smoking tobacco. But double the numbers of the adults they currently use smokeless tobacco. Another important thing is around 35.8% and 70% of all daily tobacco users, they have started consuming tobacco when they were as young as 18 and 21 years. Increasing the minimum sale age for tobacco products to 21, it is a very important strategy to reduce smoking and other tobacco use and save our youth from this tobacco addiction. Raising the sale age to 21 that complements other strategies to decrease the prevalence of tobacco use, which includes increasing the tobacco taxes, strong smoke-free laws that includes all workplaces and public places, and well-funded sustained tobacco prevention and cessation programs. Right now, the funds for the National Tobacco Control Program or other preventive measures is not that much. Addiction that occurs early, most adults, smokers, they start smoking before the age of 21. So by smokers, I mean any kind of tobacco users. Tobacco company that targets kids and young adults because they know that it is when most users, they first try and they become addicted. Nicotine is highly addictive and adolescents are particularly vulnerable to its side effects. Negative consequences on brain development are very predominant, and delaying the age when young people the first experiment using tobacco can reduce the risk that they transit to regular daily using of tobacco. Adolescent brain is particularly vulnerable to the addictive effects of the nicotine and nicotine addiction. The brain continues to develop until the age of 25. So instead of 18 years, which is the present legal age to buy, if it is increased to 21 at least, it will be very helpful for decreasing the prevalence. So as you can see in this poster, the tobacco industry is targeting a new generation because people, they're regular consumers, they are dying, and they need to recruit more people, more children, so that their profits, they keep coming to them. So tobacco is a preventable risk factor for 6 of the 8 leading causes of the death, like ischemic heart disease, cerebrovascular accident, chronic obstructive pulmonary diseases, tuberculosis, trachea, So you can see how important it is to ban or at least implement the anti-tobacco laws seriously. So as I told you that each and every organ of the body that gets affected by the nicotine, because nicotine is vasoconstrictor and it restricts blood supply to the brain, mouth, heart, lungs, skin, muscles. And even impotency can be caused if a person is a regular nicotine addict. So, so it increases risk of heart diseases, cancer, risk of respiratory diseases, infertility, stroke, and because of the low bone density, the chances of hip bone fracture also increased if you are using tobacco. So, heart health effects in smoking. Smoking causes coronary heart diseases, leading cause of death all over the world. Cigarette smoking and any kind of tobacco use, that is almost 2.4%, 2 to 4 times more likely to develop heart diseases. So, as with the first-time smokers, the person who are using tobacco themselves or the smoking themselves, the non-smokers who are exposed to second-hand smoke at home or at workplace, they also develop 25 to 30%. They are at a higher risk to develop heart diseases. So cigarettes and bidis, hookahs, etc., they can cause chronic bronchitis, cardiovascular diseases, increased risk of heart attack, kidney, liver diseases, and emphysema when the lung capacity is decreased. So as you can see that in India, 20% of all kind of tobacco uses is in the form of cigarettes, 40% is in the form of bidis. It is important because bidis, they don't attract that much tax as the cigarettes they attract. So we always want that BDs and other tobacco products, they should also attract the same kind of taxes which is being imposed on cigarettes. The remaining 40% of people, they chew tobacco in any form like pan masala, gutka, khani. Pan masala, though it is supposed to be without tobacco, but it is mostly used in combination with the tobacco pouches. So actually, and because we are already late, so we will not be able to play the videos, but we will be sharing this PowerPoint on Facebook, and anybody of you can just watch all the slides, and you can even watch the videos. So this is the influence of the tobacco advertisement. There was a study done by BHFI. So this was done to investigate the causal relationship between the students' baseline exposure to tobacco advertisement. Students exposed at more than 4 places were 1.5 times more likely to progress towards tobacco use at endline versus those not exposed. So this study that proves that if kids or youth, they are exposed to the tobacco advertisements, the chances of getting addicted is more. The tobacco use exposure in Bollywood movies. So you might have watched this product placement. In many movies, they show tobacco use by the actors. The heroes, they are the role model for the students. And those with highest exposures were at more than double the risk of being ever tobacco users as compared to those in lowest exposure. So this was another study conducted by PHFI. Industry that ensures that there is easy availability and accessibility. As you know that the tobacco is being sold by even the pan malas, they sell it as a routine. But people who are selling other food items, they are also selling tobacco products. And you can see the last photograph, Balika Vidya Mandir. So the tobacco shop is right next to the school, which is not actually allowed under Cigarette and Other Tobacco Product Act. So the tobacco industry, they glamorize tobacco use in movies. And glamorization tobacco use is on demand display web series. The web series, you know, they are very popular these days, and especially in the time of lockdowns. Glamorization tobacco use. This is another picture of web series. And these are the promotional events which are carried on by the tobacco products. Now they are not allowed, but they somehow they get through the law, and they violate the law, and they are sponsoring some other educational programs, sports events also they are sponsoring. the industry is still advertising tobacco. So you can see all these vendors who are displaying the tobacco ads. This is another form of surrogate or indirect advertisement. So Pan Bahar is actually a pan masala brand, but they are also manufacturing the tobacco products. So actually they want to advertise their tobacco products, but they can't advertise, so they are advertising for the pan masala. So flavorings, they are most of the people, most of the tobacco industry people, they add flavorings to make the tobacco products palatable for young children. So this is the former tobacco industry interference. They have some front groups like these farmers. So they say that the agriculture that is affected, and these are the front groups of the tobacco industry. And you can see the Rajnigandha people, they are sponsoring the Times Life Lit Fest festival. This was held in November 2019. And the surrogate advertisement, you can see many celebrities, they are advertising uh, for the tobacco products in a surrogate way. So the sale of tobacco products, that is also available on the retail websites or the e-commerce sites, which are being mostly accessed by the young people. So these are the promotional offers and the discounts. So promotional tobacco products on online streaming platforms. So now I'll be telling you about the upcoming new tobacco products and the nicotine products. And the most important is the electronic cigarettes. So many of our young participants, they might be knowing about the e-cigarettes. In e-cigarettes, the tobacco is not smoked, and instead the nicotine, which is in pure liquid form, that is vaporized, it contains nicotine, propylene glycol, and frequently they use flavors to make it more attractive for the children. And this vapor is inhaled. So as per global adult survey, prevalence of cigarette use presently is not that much, but awareness of e-cigarettes is highest among the adolescent people. Over the past few years, the popularity and the availability of cigarettes seemingly increased among the adolescent and the young adults. Lucky for us, in Punjab, we banned these products, the electronic cigarettes, way back in 2013. And after that, after banning by the Punjab government, 18 more states, they banned it. And in December 2019, it was prohibited or banned completely, the electronic cigarettes, by an act. The Prohibition of Electronic Cigarettes Production, Manufacture, Import, Export, Transport, Distribution, Storage and Advertisement Act 2019. It was enforced. However, the tobacco industry is still continuing its efforts to challenge the ENDS ban in India. So there are about 20,000 kind of e-liquids, and 250 of them are very unique flavors, which are being used by the tobacco industry to make these electronic cigarettes popular. So highest number of the flavors, they are fruit flavors 34%, tobacco flavors 16%, and dessert 10%. So if the tobacco industry says that they don't want the children to be using electronic cigarettes, it is a fallacy, because the flavors are being put in the electronic cigarette only to attract children. So as you can see the graph, there is a steady increase, rather a sharp increase in tobacco use, these electronic cigarette use since 2012. And they are making very good amount of money from electronic cigarettes. So this advisory was issued by Punjab government way back in 2014, I think. And the highlights of the report of the state drug controller was: exposure to nicotine during adolescence can harm brain development. E-cigarettes do not emit a harmless water vapor, but an aerosol that has been found to contain at least 10 chemicals that are uh, 10 chemicals that are known to cause cancer, birth defects, or other reproductive harms. E-cigarettes are not FDA-approved cessation aids, and e-cigarettes are being openly advertised on internet social networks with false claims that these are tobacco cessation devices and less harmful than cigarettes. So tobacco industry, they have been claiming that these are harmless devices. And so, though it is being banned in more than 40 countries at present, but still illicit products that are available in most of the countries. And the police, they have to act against the violation of the new act that is already there in India. So this was the Surgeon General's advisory, and as per the Surgeon General, so it is like an epidemic, the use of electronic cigarettes among the kids. The side effects of electronic cigarettes, they are all the side effects of the nicotine actually. It may cause nausea, vomiting, abdominal pain, eye irritation. And if the dose of nicotine use is high, it may cause tachycardia, that is increased heart rate, high blood pressure, seizure, coma, and even death can be caused. Because the lethal dose of nicotine is just 0.5 milligram per kg body weight. So you can well imagine if a child of say 5 kg weight or 10 kg weight, they ingest even a small quantity of nicotine accidentally, the child can die. So it has some cancer causing substances also called nitrosamine. And we have seen that from the news items that many times the batteries which are used in the electronic cigarette, they have exploded and leading to even deaths. So this is the Journal of the American Heart Association. They have reproduced a study, so which shows that it is detrimental to the cardiovascular health, and it has got some pulmonary effects also. And there has been a 9% increase among high school students from 2011 to 2015, which is quite alarming. So it can cause chronic obstructive airway diseases, cystic fibrosis, and the e-cigarette liquids sweetened with flavorings like vanilla and cinnamon, they harm the most, especially the lungs, they are harmed with these kind of flavorings. And there is another condition which is called popcorn lung diseases, which is because of the propylene glycol which is present in the electronic cigarettes. So recently, actually, there have been more than actually maybe 100 deaths in US because of the use of the electronic cigarettes. Last year it happened. And so that is the reason that now governments, they are going towards the banning these products. These are the new emerging tobacco products. Like some of these electronic cigarettes are, they just look like cigarettes. Some they look like e-hookahs, some they are called vape pens, then there are mods, and then the latest one, they are the Juul products. They just look like pen drives. And the parents of the children, they also don't know what the children are carrying. They think that they are the pen drives, but actually they are using electronic cigarettes. These are other products, heat not burn. In this, the tobacco itself is heated, but it is not burned. And the tobacco industry, they claim that it is a safer product, but contrary to that, so all the cigarette harms, the harms caused by the cigarette, they are also caused by the heat not burn products. So to set a public agenda to support the ban on ends in India, a social media campaign, ban on e-cigarettes, highlighting marketing tactics by the industry and evidence-based health harms, and global examples of ban was rolled out. And you can just have a look at the Facebook page of this ban on e-cigarette, and they have a Twitter handle also. So here it's an organization, public health organization. They studied an emerging forms of tobacco use. So as per their study, the electronic cigarettes, they were available within 100 yards of education institutes in 31% of the cases. And 36% of the cases, they were sold to the minors. And in 53% cases, there were no warning boards against sale to minors. In 33% cases, they had attractive display of the e-cigarettes. And in 34% cases, they were marketing flavored e-cigarettes. So from this study, it proves that the tobacco industry, they want to promote electronic cigarettes to the kids. So this is the latest act, which was enacted in December 2019 by the Government of India. And the salient features are under Section 4, imprisonment for a term which may extend to 1 year or with fine which may extend to 1 lakh rupees. And there is a provision even for the people who are providing their space to store the electronic cigarettes. That is under section 5. And it is punishable with imprisonment for a term which may extend to 6 months or with fine which may extend to 50,000 rupees. So I'll request all the participants, if they come across any shop or any vendor who is selling electronic cigarettes, they should inform the the nearest police station, and the action should be initiated. So the provision of this act shall be in addition to and not derogation of the provision of other law. Because electronic cigarettes in Punjab and in many states, we were acting under drug and cosmetic law. So that is also still valid. And there is no suit, prosecution or other legal proceeding shall lie against the central government or any state government official who tries to enact this law. And moreover, electronic cigarettes, there is a correlation between electronic cigarettes and COVID-19. As per the CDC US, young adults under age 44 years, they were maximum number of the people who were hospitalized in the US for COVID-19. So many scientists, they have begun questioning whether the vaping epidemic might have contributed to this. So it is a possibility that people who use e-cigarettes, they are more likely to get COVID-19, and the end results are also not very good. So now I'll be telling you about the hookah bars. And as most of the people who are the participants, they know that at least 60 to 70 restaurants in Chandigarh, in some of the restaurants in Haryana, and very rarely in Punjab, they are offering hookahs to all people, and they don't even ask for the age. So even minors, they are being offered hookahs. And hookah is also known as shisha or a water pipe. And in this case, the smoke is passed through the water in the basis of hookah's pipe, but in no way it is safer than cigarettes. And there are some myths about the hookahs, that it is less harmful. The science shows that smoke from a hookah that contains many of the same harmful and carcinogenic components. Carcinogenic is cancer-causing components as cigarette smoke. And the second-hand hookah smoke is not less harmful than the second-hand cigarette smoke. And it is more dangerous because it is a social kind of thing, and people, they spend more time in hookah bars. A 1 hour session of hookah bar can be harmful, as harmful as smoking 100 cigarettes. One hookah session that delivers 25 times the tar of a single cigarette. And tobacco-free flavored hookah can be toxic to health, as the smoke is filled with carbon monoxides and other harmful carcinogens. So even if the restaurant people, the hookah bar people, they claim that it doesn't contain tobacco and only flavors, the flavors can also be dangerous. And the charcoal which is burning, that can cause carbon monoxide poisoning, and some harmful products, the carcinogens are being also produced. So as I told you, that hookah bar, usually the session that lasts 45 minutes to an hour, and it is like using 100 cigarettes, like smoking 100 cigarettes. And hookah second-hand smoke, I've already told you, that is also harmful. So why even flavored hookahs are harmful? So as I told you, that even the flavors can be harmful. And as per the new study, the levels of benzene are very high. Benzene is known to cause leukemias, and there are more than 300 flavors for hookahs. So they make it smell nice to the people, and they think that it is it is not harmful, but it is carcinogenic. Even the parents, they may not be knowing that the flavored hookahs is also harmful. But I may tell you that most of the people in hookah bars, they are serving tobacco or nicotine laced hookah. And they may even claim that they are using flavors, but they always put tobacco or nicotine in it. So these are the legislations which can be used against the hookah bars. So what is the Poison Act, the Cigarette and Other Tobacco Product? The Cigarette and Other Tobacco Product Act, it is the Anti-Tobacco Act. There are mainly 4 sections. Under section 4, you cannot smoke in public. So the hookah bars, they violate because it is a public place and people are smoking. The section 5 states that there cannot be any tobacco advertisement, promotion and sponsorship. When you put a hookah on a table, that means that you are promoting smoking. So it violates section 5 of the COTPA. Section 6 is you cannot serve tobacco to a person who is below 18 years, that is minor. And most of the people who throng to the hookahs, they are minors, and nobody in the restaurant or the hookah bar, they ever ask about the age of the person. So it violates section 6 of the COTPA. And then there's another section 7. It says that pictorial warnings, they are must on all the tobacco products. I have raided at least 20 to 30 times the hookah bars, and I have never seen any tobacco product which is being put in the hookahs, and they carry any kind of pictorial health warning. So they are violating section 7 also. Then they are violating Food Safety Act because they are using flavored tobacco. They are violating section 144. It is being promulgated in many places against the hookah bars. The Food Safety Act is also being violated. Drug and Cosmetic Act is being violated. The Juvenile Justice Act. As per the Juvenile Justice Act, under section 77 of the Juvenile Justice Act, you cannot offer or serve tobacco or alcohol to a minor. So it violates Juvenile Justice Act also. It also violates certain sections of the IPC like 268, 269 and 278. So you see, in no case tobacco, the hookah bars can be a legal entity. So whenever you see that a hookah bar is functional, you must send a complaint to the nearest police station. So these are the provisions under section 144. In Punjab, Gujarat and Maharashtra, the governments, they have amended the COTPA, which has permanently banned hookah bar. So first of all, I think it happened in Gujarat, then Maharashtra, and then Punjab. So I'll also like to tell you what is the correlation between the COVID and all kind of tobacco products. So it actually tobacco that preys on lungs, while the tobacco industry, that makes them more vulnerable. So any kind of smoking or vaping is using electronic cigarettes that would increase the chances of COVID-19 infection and progression of this deadly disease. So this is the WHO poster, which shows that you get infected, more sepsis for the virus, more severe disease, more comorbidities, high risk of dying. So how it is good time. Now it is good time to quit. This pandemic period, that is good time to quit. So as I told you earlier, that the tobacco use and vaping, it is very detrimental to health, especially during the COVID time. So SLT use, the smokeless tobacco or the chewing tobacco that promotes spitting. And spitting, you already know that they spread infection like tuberculosis and even COVID. And almost 22 states in India, they have already banned spitting. And they can be challaned for about 300 to 500 rupees if anybody is caught spitting in public place. So, so these are the IPC sections which can be used against spitting. So this is the FCTC, WHO, they have produced a poster which shows that why we are concerned about COVID-19 and water pipe tobacco smoking. As you know that people, 10 to 12 people, that gather around a hookah and they use the same pipe. So you are transferring infection from one to another. So I think especially in the COVID period, the hookahs should be completely banned, and even beyond that. So for Madam Anju and Neeza, I'll request you to declare your library campus as tobacco free, to provide a healthy, clean working environment, and to protect users from this second-hand smoke, and to avoid high maintenance costs and fire due to tobacco use. Use of tobacco products, including SLT and e-cigarettes, should not be permitted within the library complex, as in all the public places, because library is already a public place. So in any case, under COTPA section 4, so you cannot allow these kind of products to be used. So use of tobacco products, including SLT and cigarettes, is prohibited in the library campus. You can put up a signage as you enter the building of the library, and at some prominent places also. So all library staff members, they are required to observe and promote compliance. And you can even get the challan book from the state nodal cell, and you can challan the visitors also if you find anybody violating the law. So I would like to acknowledge the support of Dr. Monica from PHFI, Ms. Vishaki from Vital Strategies, Mr. Ashish Pandey, the union, for allowing me to use the PowerPoint presentations. Dr. Rakesh Gupta, he is with us. He is from the Rajasthan Cancer Society in Jaipur. He provided us a video, but because of the lack of time, we are not playing that video, but it will be available on Facebook. And I'm also thankful to Rana Jagdeep Singh. He is Regional Director, Southeast Asia for the Union. And we have been organizing such webinars and many activities since 2010 with the Union. So we have very, good stalwarts with us, Mr. Sekhon, Prabjit Singh, and many other people, because I can't actually see who else is there. Mr. Ram Prasad is here, Mr. Dr. Gyanendra is here, Alpna, Mr. Sekhon is with us. So I'm thankful to all, Kavita, Yadav, Arunji. So Arunji is our Director Operations for the Cypher. So I'm thankful to all. And stay safe, stay free from tobacco, nicotine, and all forms. And thanks for your attention, and your queries or questions are welcome. Thank you. So over to Madam Anju, Dr. Neeza Singh.
Thank you, sir, for such an informative presentation. I'm sure whatever you said is already quite clear to our viewers, but we have a few questions which I'm first taking up from our Facebook viewers. Okay. The first question is from Saurabh Sharma. Are tobacco users more vulnerable to COVID-19?
Yeah, actually, I've already mentioned in the slides that all kind of tobacco, whether it is smoking tobacco, hookahs, the smokeless tobacco, the e-cigarettes. So with the use of this tobacco and nicotine products, you become more vulnerable to very severe infection, the COVID infection. It is true.
Thank you, sir. Next question is from Archana Malik. If there is any provision under law against herbal hookahs?
Actually, they may be claiming it is herbal or whatever, but as I told you, even if it is herbal hookah, they are using the charcoal. So it produces benzene, and it also produces carbon monoxide, so which can be carcinogenic, and a person can die even with the carbon monoxide poisoning. So there's nothing like herbal hookah, I can assure you. So people, they go to hookahs and spend 1,000 rupees for a 1-hour session just to get addicted, and not because of the flavors or herbal thing.
There's another question by Neelam Goyal. When did China invent e-cigarettes? If you have answer to this question.
Yeah, I think Dr. Rana ma'am, correct me, but I think it was in 2006 or 7. Dr. Rana, am I right?
Yes, Dr. Gupta, yes.
Yeah, Dr. Rana, you may also want to add something.
No, I think it's very clear. So e-cigarette was first invented in China. So it was used there. And thereafter they saw it as a big opportunity. And then it spread almost throughout the world. And currently almost we have it in every country. And for us here in India, it is really very, very important. And Dr. Gupta, right now, he is authority on the subject. And the work which he has done on e-cigarette, I think along with him, that has led to this legislation of ban on e-cigarette in our country. And I think had it not been there, India was at the verge of, you can say, having another epidemic in our country. So I think this is a very, very timely step. So over to you, Dr. Neeza.
So I may add that actually.
Thank you so much, sir. Our next
Dr.
question
Rana,
is from
Dr. Rana has been all along us. And he
thank you
has been
so
with us.
much, Dr. Rana.
Yes, next question.
Next question is by Puneet Basi. He is asking why Chandigarh government is not banning shisha bars.
Actually,
is there any reason to it?
There's no reason why hookah bar should not be allowed. As I told you, there are so many legislations under which hookah bar is not allowed. I think we collectively need to tell the authorities, our governor, staff, and the administrators that hookah bars, they are illegal entities and they should be banned. So I think we should all make efforts towards that. Right.
Okay, we have participants from Mumbai and they are asking that Mumbai High allowed herbal hookahs in Mumbai restaurants, saying it's tobacco free. So is there any explanation to it?
Yeah. Actually, as I told you, most of the people, they go to hookah bars only to get addicted to tobacco and nicotine. Nobody will spend 1,000 rupees for an hour to get that herbal hookah, right? And if I'm sure if it is tested, the product is tested, it will come out to be containing tobacco and nicotine. And as I told you earlier also, carbon monoxide is produced, benzene is produced because of the charcoal. So they are harmful. It cannot be safe and it should not be allowed.
Okay, there's another question by Vandana Jain and she's asking whether it affects the government revenue if they stop all such things.
I think I mentioned that the government that earns about, this was 2011 figures, that government earns about 33,000 crores from the taxes. And they are spending as much as 1 lakh crore on treatment of the tobacco related diseases. So it is not a profitable thing for government also. So there's no revenue loss if it is banned. If all these products are banned, there won't be any revenue loss. Rather, people will gain health and they will be productive.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. Now it's over to our moderator, Madam Anju Gupta.
Well, it was quite a good, informative session, Dr. Gupta. I congratulate you on this. It was informative and very simple and very understandable. But I have few questions.
Sure.
What do we understand from emphysema?
Emphysema.
What kind of disease is this?
Yeah, in emphysema, actually, it happens with the chronic smokers, and the lung capacity is quite decreased with this. And Dr. Rana, he's a pulmonologist. I think he can respond. Dr. Rana, just let us know.
Yes. So emphysema is a result of a chronic exposure to smoke, not only to tobacco smoke, but it also is can occur because of other air pollutions. So here the capacity of the lungs for oxygenation. So what happens that in lungs, the mechanism of air exchange, oxygen goes in and carbon dioxide goes out, that is lost. And the elasticity of lungs, you see when lungs expand and then they again retract. So elasticity of lungs is damaged because of this smoke. And that is, then what happens? Then when we take air inside, air gets trapped in our lungs. Alveoli, and we cannot exhale whole air. Normally, when we inhale something, when we inhale, air goes inside and a lot of comes out. In patients of emphysema, when they inhale, all air do not come out. So air is trapped inside the lungs. And in such a disease, if we see an X-ray, the size of the lungs is increased, and air exchange mechanism in the lungs is lost. and this is very common in cases of smoking. Normally, we call it as COPD, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. Thank
Thank
you.
you, Dr. Rana. I mean, it was you have explained it very well. So I may tell you that I'm an ophthalmologist and Dr. Rana is pulmonologist. So he explained it very well. Thank you, Dr. Rana.
Thank you, Dr. Rana. And I have one question that I could see on Facebook that many parents of our young members are also watching your presentation. So I'm sure they must be anxious to know how they get early signals if their children are taking nicotine in any form.
Nicotine, actually, I suggest that even the school-going children, the teenagers, the parents, they should watch what they are doing, because as I told you that they are carrying those jewel products which look like pen drive, and the parents, they think that they are using pen drives for education purpose, and actually they are being addicted. You see, they'll be spending more money than usual. They'll be demanding more pocket money, right? And the behavioral pattern, and they have to also watch what kind of company they are keeping. So I think the parents, they need to be watchful of children, whether they are getting addicted to, and if they are using smoking tobacco, and it is very easy because you can smell it, right? And if they are using chewable tobacco, so that, even then also you can look at their teeth and you can come to know that they are using chewing tobacco, right?
Thank you, Dr.
Thank you,
Gupta.
Dr.
In fact, Dr. Gupta, you can also share that that study or maybe one news item that in one of the schools around Delhi, almost 150 school children, when their bags were checked, so 150 children, they were having e-cigarette in their bags. So you can just imagine. So it is something which not only parents, but I think on part of schools, it is also very important to look at this aspect.
So
So
it is
does
responsibility of
e-cigarette
the society.
also
Yeah.
e-cigarette also cause passive smoking?
Yeah. Because the electronic cigarette, it also produces vapors, right? And
Okay.
vapor, they contain propylene glycol and nicotine and other harmful products also. So it is not safe. It is not like water vapor. It is also laced with the chemicals, right? So secondhand smoking is also there, electronic cigarettes.
So how much is a passive smoker at risk in comparison to
Same.
the active smoker?
So I may tell you that
Same.
it is almost the same. Yeah.
Oh, I see. So why is it so easily available, the tobacco? It is so cheap and it is available at nukkars and all.
Yeah, there is lot of politics involved into it actually, because many of our MLAs, MPs, they have interest in this tobacco manufacturing or tobacco agriculture. So that may be one of the reason. And tobacco industry, you see, it's a very powerful lobby. So they have muscle power and they have money power. They can spend any kind of money to make the products popular, and they can even corrupt people, the higher officials and the MPs. And you'll be surprised to know that even the religious, parties, they are also being offered money by tobacco industry for the election campaign. So I think because of the tobacco industry tactics, it is very difficult to ban and even implement the already existing laws. If the existing laws are implemented properly, I don't think there will be at least 90% of shops will vanish if the law is implemented strictly. And you see, Chandigarh was the first smoke-free city, but now you can see how much the law is being implemented. I think we should all make efforts to make government and the administrators work against tobacco.
Thank you, Dr. Gupta.
And just to add that just in, you can say, almost 16, 17 years after e-cigarette was invented, so it has already now become a menace globally. And at least all low and middle income country must ensure that they are banned, because in all our regions we have many laws, but it is very difficult to implement those laws. And even for e-cigarette, I think although government of India has banned it, but still every day we hear news that how tobacco industry representatives, they are trying to ensure that this law is vacated. They are trying to meet all kinds of politicians. They are trying to put all kind of pressures. And even you see in COVID situation, we have collected almost more than 35 such instances, that even during this period, tobacco industry, they are not they have not stopped. Even during this trying time, they are trying to be in touch with the youth. They are trying to ensure, they are saying that our e-cigarette is our safer in this situation. So really, this is something which all of us should be very clear. And in addition to about what Dr. Gupta said, we also need to see that many children, they can also order e-cigarette from various websites. Dr. Gupta can also share that experience, how Punjab was able to contain Flipkart and other sites where e-cigarette is being sold. So almost in these 17 years after 2003, so it's really a big issue. Dr. Gupta?
Yeah, actually, we tried to manage. I mean, we launched court cases against the violators, and in two, at least I remember two cases in Mohali, Sangrur, and they have been challaned. I mean, they have been fined, and even imprisonment has been done, and the cases have not been challenged in High Court. And another thing we did was that on e-commerce sites, also these products are banned. And if even in those times when the government of India had not banned, the Punjab was not being supplied electronic cigarettes through the e-commerce sites. So, Anjali, do you have any other question? Because
one more question, please.
Okay.
Yeah. Am I audible, please?
Yeah. Gyanendra, yeah.
Yeah. Sir,
Yeah.
it was a very beautiful presentation. Basically, I have two questions, sir.
Sure.
First of all, let me just introduce you. Basically, I'm a pediatric dentist currently working as a district nodal officer of Kotpa in district Rewari in Haryana.
That is great.
Yeah, right, sir. So one thing was that in your presentation, there was one question that there was some provision which you said that should be age increase from 18 to 21 years or 25 years for promotion of these tobacco products. So has something been done on your part or from the government initiative? Some initiative, has that been taken or not, sir?
Actually, in Punjab, we had a conference. We had a consultation. I think it was about 5-6 months ago.
All right, sir.
So, Dr. Rana, you were present in that consultation?
Yes, I was present.
So just let us know about the outcome.
Yes. So, so Dr. Ganeshwar sir. So thank you for your question. You see, right now, Dr. Gupta has really explained why currently 18 years of age, just by increasing age to 21, we can reduce the tobacco consumption to a great extent. Because up to, if we see the GATS data, almost 70% use, they have already started tobacco by the time they are 25 years of age, and about 55% of people who are currently using tobacco, they start using it before they are 21 years of age. So I think if we increase this age, although from our heart we wish that tobacco products should be banned globally, it should end. There should be end game for tobacco, but till that governments are able to do that, we need to ensure that if we can have some control strategy. So if we increase the age to 21, we can reasonably do that, and many countries now have already done. For example, we are now giving an example of alcohol. Example of alcohol in most states is 25 years of age. In few states it is 21 years. Then why for tobacco products it is 18 years of age? So sir, these are some kind of innovative ways and some strategies which we are proposing to government, that currently under law it is 18 years under COTPA. So whether it can be, so it is already under COTPA Amendment Act, for which a bill is already with the law ministry in here in at a national level. So this proposal is already there. At the same time, some states are also doing. Punjab has done a very good consultation almost 5-6 months back, when health minister, honorable health minister was there. I think one member of parliament was also there. So there was a big gathering. There were 15 representatives from other states also. So our idea is that this age should be increased, and that will definitely help overall tobacco control in the country. But this is, sir, very preliminary. This is only in discussion. Right now, no state in the country has raised it to 21. And if it happens in COTPA, under section 6B, A and B, and then I think it will be a great achievement. Thank you, sir.
Correct, sir.
Thank you, Dr.
Yeah.
Ram. Thank you, Dr. Yeah.
So my second question was, like, I am staying in Haryana and doing my job also in Haryana.
Yeah.
So in Haryana scenario, hookah forms a sir, social stature. I mean, I hope I'm not getting my exact word. Like in villages, whenever you visit, it
It's a
has
social
the
norm,
social.
actually.
Yeah,
it is a
sir.
social norm, you can say.
That is so. How, I mean, what all steps can be taken? Because I mean, the people, they are ready to oppose you up to any extent,
Yeah.
right? And simultaneously they are sitting also there. So is there any specific law? Because you cannot say anything to them. Even for I have challaned various people for smoking in public places. That can be done easily under section 4. So how to overcome this menace? Do you have some strategy, or have you done something? If you can
Yeah,
share
in my
some light on that.
presentation, in my Dr. Gyanendra, in my presentation, so I have told, actually there are at least 5-6 laws under which you can. The Juvenile Justice Act is a very good thing,
Absolutely
especially
correct,
for the hookah bars.
yes, sir.
You can,
I
think we can discuss later, right? And personally,
All
we
right,
can
sir.
discuss. Yeah.
All right.
But here at this platform, I will like to just say, sir, देखिए, just I will now switch on to little bit Hindi. Historically आप यदि देखें तो जो कल्चरल नॉर्म थे, बेसिकली दिस इज कल्चरल, जो हम अक्सर कहते हैं कि नहीं हुक्का हरियाणा के कल्चर में है, सम पार्ट ऑफ यूपी. सो जब भी ऐसे कल्चरल यदि कोई ऐसे इशू रहे हैं या ऐसे कुछ कुरीतियां रही हैं, सो मे बी आई थिंक सभी में टाइम लगा है. आप चाइल्ड मैरिज ले लीजिए, डॉरी ले लीजिए. सो जैसे इन चीजों में वाकया ही टाइम लगा है, बट persistent effort. So now what is required? It is persistent effort. You can always, you see, under COTPA now it is also banned. Hookah at public place is banned right now, not in individually, but if they are smoking at home, right now law does not prohibit them. But if they are smoking in public, in Chopal, in community hall of the village, then it is prohibited. So please, we need to see that part. So behavior change, persistent efforts, and something respecting them. We respect them. Tell them that we are respecting your discussion, what you are doing. But please avoid this. So I think this kind of strategy is required for all such issues. Thank you.
Yeah, Dr. Gyanendra, I think you can send me a mail and I'll respond to that, right? So what text we can use, right? Auntie Anjali, any other question?
One last question from our Facebook viewers. How can we spread awareness about the bad effects of drugs, tobacco, cigarettes, and hookah among the youth? I mean, how can the normal masses contribute to it?
I think all young people, they are exposed to all kinds of social media, the Facebook, the Twitter, and whatnot, the Instagram. So I think we can use all these social media platforms And I must add one thing, that tobacco is gateway to other addictions. So initially the kids, they first start using tobacco and then they graduate to other addictions. So if we, I mean, we somehow we can control this menace, the tobacco, other addictions will also decrease, or it may even vanish, right? And we collectively, we must use all kind of media, whether it is print media, whether it is electronic media, whether it is social media. So we have to, I mean, talk about it like this webinar. These kind of webinars, they are very important because they are attended by young people. And I think today's webinar would be helpful to them.
Thank you so much, sir. Now over to Ma'am Anju Gupta for the vote of thanks.
मेरा एक क्वेश्चन सीगा मैम. हेलो, मैं के सेखों बोल रहा जी पटियाले तो. मेरा क्वेश्चन डॉक्टर राकेश गुप्ता नु है. डॉक्टर साहब,
we can have this last question. Anju ma'am, I think we are late, but Mr. Sekho is a senior person.
Sorry,
so we can have a question from you. Hanji Sekho.
Sir, being a member of District Tobacco Control Committee,
yeah,
I independently challan more than 2,500 people and deposit more than 2.5 lakh in government treasury.
That is great, right?
पर अनफॉर्चुनेटली सर ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉਹ ਵਿਟਨੈਸ ਵੀ ਹੋ, ਅਸੀਂ ਇੱਕ ਦੋ ਰੇਡਸ ਵੀ ਕੀਤੀਆਂ ਪਟਿਆਲੇ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਵੀ ਨਾਲ ਸੀਗੇ, ਹੁੱਕਾ ਬਾਰ ਵੀ ਕੀਤੇ ਸੀਗੇ. ਤੇ ਅਨਫੋਰਚੂਨੇਟਲੀ ਹੈਲਥ ਡਿਪਾਰਟਮੈਂਟ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਗਿਆ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਮੈਂਬਰਸ ਹੈਗੇ ਡਿਸਟ੍ਰਿਕਟ ਟobacco ਕੰਟਰੋਲ ਕਮੇਟੀ ਦੇ, ਉਹ ਚਲਾਨ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ. ਸੋ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਇਸ ਕੰਮ ਲਈ ਰੋਕ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਮੈਨੂੰ. ਸੋ ਬੇਸ਼ੱਕ ਅਸੀਂ ਅੱਜ ਵੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਬੱਸ ਸਟੈਂਡ, ਰੇਲਵੇ ਸਟੇਸ਼ਨ, ਲੋਕ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਅੱਜ ਵੀ ਪਹਿਚਾਣਦੇ ਨੇ ਔਰ ਦੇਖ ਕੇ ਥੋੜੇ ਅਵੇਅਰ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਨੇ, ਕੌਨਸ਼ੀਅਸ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਨੇ. ਪਰ ਅਸੀਂ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਰੋਕ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਸਰ? ਜਦੋਂ
ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸਟੇਟ ਟobacco ਕੰਟਰੋਲ ਸੈੱਲ ਹੈ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ, ਕਮੇਟੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ, ਜਾਂ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਡਿਸਟ੍ਰਿਕਟ ਟobacco ਕੰਟਰੋਲ ਸੈੱਲ ਹੈ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਕੋਈ ਮੈਂਬਰ ਅਗਰ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਜਾਣ, ਫਿਰ ਕੋਈ ਐਸਾ ਇਸ਼ੂ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ. ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਨਾ NGOs ਨੂੰ ਨਾਰਮਲੀ ਅਲਾਉ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਦੇ, ਕਿਤੇ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ ਇਨਫੈਕਟ ਆਲ ਓਵਰ ਇੰਡੀਆ. ਹਾਂ, ਉਹ मतलब एक बार अवेयरनेस नोटिस जरूर इशू कर सकते हैं, बट नॉर्मली दे आर नॉट चलानिंग. ठीक है. सो क्योंकि ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ केस है, इट कम्स अंडर NGOs है ना
जी,
है ना. सो अलाउ ते वैसे देखो ऑफ द रिकॉर्ड, आई थिंक यू हैव बीन डूइंग इट, you have been doing a good work, so I don't want to comment upon that, but you must carry on your good work in whatever way you are.
ਮੇਰੀ ਚਲਾਨਿੰਗ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸੀ ਸਰ, ਉਹ ਹੈਲਥ ਡਿਪਾਰਟਮੈਂਟ ਤੋਂ ਹਰ ਮਹੀਨੇ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ, 10-15 ਹਜ਼ਾਰ
जी. So we salute you Sekho sahab for the good work you are doing, और just carry on. ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉਹ ਨਾਰਾਜ਼ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਣਾ ਸਾਡੇ ਡਿਪਾਰਟਮੈਂਟ.
ਨਹੀਂ ਸਰ, ਨਾਰਾਜ਼ ਨਹੀਂ, ਅਸੀਂ ਹੁਣ ਵੀ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਆ, ਅਸੀਂ ਹੁਣ ਵੀ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਅਵੇਅਰ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ. ਸਾਡੀ NGO ਹੈ ਗ੍ਰੇਟ ਥਿੰਕਰ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉਹਦੇ ਰਾਹੀਂ ਵੀ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਅਵੇਅਰ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ ਨਸ਼ੇ ਦੇ ਖਿਲਾਫ.
ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣਾ ਕੰਮ ਚੰਗਾ ਕਰਦੇ ਰਹੋ, ਔਰ ਲੋਕੀ ਦੇਖੋ ਪਹਿਲੇ ਵੀ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਜੁੜੇ, ਹੋਰ ਜੁੜਨਗੇ. I am thankful to you Dr. Sekho, Mr. Sekho, for joining.
Thank you very much.
ਹਾਂਜੀ Anju ji.
Adi, I am really thankful, Dr. Gupta, for your presentation, and I also thank Dr. Rana and Mr. Kamarjeet Singh Sekho. On behalf of all participants, viewers, and guests, let me pay gratitude to Dr. Rakesh Gupta, the distinguished speaker of the day, who has spared his valuable time and energy for the day to speak on the topic that is use of tobacco and nicotine. The style of his presentation is so stimulating that it rings the bell hard, and the topic is covered so skillfully that it looks so simple and understandable. I'm sure everyone has benefited from this. Thank you, Dr. Gupta. And your suggestion is taken well, but let me tell you that our library is already it is already a smoke-free zone. But I'm not very sure about the e-cigarettes. I will take care of that, and I will make some arrangements that our staff is also sensitized about this, because we all are not aware about e-cigarettes.
Work together to make it tobacco free, in fact. Okay?
Yeah, thank you. I'm also thankful to all public health experts, viewers, participants, especially young participants, and the members of the staff of the library who have made it possible to happen, especially Dr. Neeza Singh, who has lent her support technically as well as in coordinating the whole event with utmost sincerity. Thank you, Neeza. I am also indebted to Cypher for its contribution in the event. And I have one small suggestion. If I can. Can I?
Sure, sure.
Uh, we are doing this event for the masses, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I think the masses there that are taking tobacco, they are mostly uneducated people.
Yeah.
So why we should do one such kind of event in Hindi or Punjabi,
Sure, sure.
that is in regional language, so that
And
we can reach more people.
whenever you want.
Is it possible?
Whenever you want, yeah. We can do it Hindi or Punjabi, whatever you prefer.
Yeah. Or we through some other medium, because they might not be using these kind of mediums.
Actually, I am
So
Dr. Rana, me, and Mr. Arun Verma, who is our Director of Operations, Cypher. So we are all available for any kind of consultation, workshops you want to hold in your, I mean, physical workshop that can be held.
physical
Maybe,
are probably not.
I mean, maybe 2 months later we'll be
Yeah,
better
later.
in that
Yes.
position. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Dr. Gupta. Thank you for all this.
Thanks a lot. Thank you.
And thank you, Saurav, for all the technical support also.
Thank you, madam.
Okay. Thank
Bye
you.
bye. Thank you, Dr. Gupta.
Thank you.
Bye, bye, sir.
Thank you.